I've noted for a while that there is a pressure or a sort of a synthesis that occurs between the media and between scientific institutions. And this study was pointed out to me by a friend who's a scientist who's currently working on coronavirus. But it was with the Monash University and the Doherty Institute. The paper was that the paper's entitled "The FDA-approved drug Ivermectin inhibits the replication of SARS-CoV-2 in vitro" by Cully et al. And what they claimed in the paper was that viral replication was shut down somewhere between 24 and 48 hours by about 5,000 times, or greater than 5,000 times. And he was talking about the fact that the title was, even in of itself, was misleading, in that it's FDA approved for nanomolar concentrations, and what was used in the paper was at micromolars. And so essentially at that dose, it's sort of super physiological, it probably shut everything down.
Yeah, I mean, the ivermectin story is very preliminary, to say the least.
Yes.
It's a great drug. I mean, it was developed for heartworm in dogs, and it works well there. And then it was given by the company Merck free to treat river blindness in humans, where it's a great drug. And the guy who did that, Campbell, won the Nobel Prize. And so it was a wonderful thing. But I think as far as a drug against SARS, we're going to have much better possibilities coming down the pike very quickly. We're screening a lot of drugs at the moment. That's part of our role. And we're just talking about how to expand that screening. And there's some candidates that look as though they might have a bit of promise. The next thing is to get them into lab animals and get them tested and see whether they have any effect outside tissue culture. But the ivermectin thing's only been tested in tissue culture. I think we're much, much smarter if we go for specific drugs against this virus, that designer drugs. I mean, HIV, the drugs are all designer drugs. They're designed to fit the molecules of HIV by what we call structural biologists. Who do that using synchrotron and so forth. Mark von Itzstein at Griffith University is one of these guys. And that's where we should be going, and as fast as possible. I do think we should be pushing drug development as fast as vaccine development, really going for it, because with older people who a vaccine may not work, what may work is preventive drugs. That you could give them a couple of drugs every day as a pill. We do that with HIV, we call it HIV PrEP. They'd have to be active antiviral drugs that work well, and you could do that as a preventive and keep them safe. So, and also people who have defective immune systems or can't respond to a vaccine for whatever reason. So I think we need to push drug development fast, but I'm very skeptical about a lot of these repurposed drugs. At the moment, they're what's being tested, but because we can, not because they're the optimal.
Well, I suppose that if they're already FDA approved, then you already have some degree of safety, I suppose.
Yes, a lot of the safety testing is being done. I don't know about ivermectin. I don't know what level of safety testing is being done in humans, but I'd be very surprised if ivermectin's the answer to this.
Well, yes, we've had cases where there's been talk, like in terms of America, you're talking about some of the irresponsibility from President Donald Trump and people dying because they've, I guess the last thing you'd want is people buying head lice lotion and drinking it or something like that. I shouldn't laugh.
There's a bunch of people out there who've got a religion where I think they drink dilute bleach or something. I don't know. Religions, the religion industry is an interesting one.